if you spend your break time just doing that, you'll find that it goes by very quickly and you're not refreshed at all, and then it's time to go back to work. Hi! So hope you've been keeping well and safe. And in Singapore we have what we call the circuit breaker.
We will therefore impose significantly stricter measures. This is like a circuit breaker.
In many other parts of the world we have the same. It's otherwise known as a lockdown, where we're all forced to stay home and to work from home just in order to stay safe. So in Singapore, like I said, we have the circuit breaker, but I have friends in the US and London. Hi to you guys who are also working from home, because you guys also have had the same sort of issue. I mean, well, the whole world is fighting the coronavirus, so everyone has had to stay home, and working from home has become more real than ever before. For myself, I did have an office space, a couple of different office spaces, and but that said, before I did that, I was working from home for a few years now, so I kind of have a few tips to share that I think might be helpful to you. And even though I've gotten used to working from an office in recent years, I think the past couple of weeks back home has taught me again like what I actually do like about working from home and how we can make it the most productive and the happiest possible arrangement for you. So here are my tips. I hope they work for you. Okay, so the number one work from home tip that I find helps productivity and happiness, and I think I've said this before but in a different way, is to exercise. I find that this goes hand in hand with my second tip, which is to have a routine when you work from home. And so for me, my routine is to wake up sometimes I wake up at 6 plus in the morning and I go for a run, or I wake up at 7 and I have a regular 8:30 insanity workout with some of my girlfriends. But I find that is the best way to start the day, because there are days when, I mean, look, I'm a morning person, but I don't always wake up at 7 a.m. feeling like, yeah, I'm so ready to get going. But sometimes the workout is a bit slow, like the first few steps, if I'm running, are very slow, or like I'm dragging myself to this insanity workout, which we do on Zoom. Like one of my friends streams the workout and we all just follow. But especially when I'm doing the workout with friends, I feel like I'm accountable to these girls. I feel like they woke up and they switched on their computers to do this together. The least I can do is to do the same. So I think that really helps. So number one would be to get a workout in. Even though you're working from home, you have to have the discipline to get out of bed and to actually work, especially if, I guess if you have like a boss breathing down your neck, that's a bit more obvious that you have to get work done. But if like me, you're a freelancer, or you're thinking of being a freelancer, or unfortunately in this time you have been forced to become a freelancer because you've been let go, then I'll say the number one thing to make sure to do is to be disciplined. And to do that, because we're not disciplined by nature, humans are not, I'm not, is to set yourself a routine. And so mine is to work out first thing in the morning. I don't even shower, I don't wash my face, I just change into my workout gear, brush my teeth, and then I go. And then the next part of my routine is to make sure to take a shower and to wash my face. Now, I know I've seen a lot of productivity tips on YouTube where people say like, oh, part of it is you should put on a full face of makeup and you should wear something nice. I think, to be honest, I've watched all these videos and I don't really get the point of that. Like, I think that the best thing for me about working from home is saving time on getting ready. Like, okay, obviously I put on some makeup and I look a bit nicer today because I'm talking to you guys. But usually on my normal days at home, no, I don't have any makeup on at all, which is good because my skin gets to breathe. And I'm just wearing something really comfortable, like loungewear, which is equivalent to pajamas. But really something like that I find really comfortable. For me, that would be usually singlet and a pair of shorts, or like a t-shirt, or a jumper if it's cold outside, and a pair of shorts, but it's been really hot, so mostly a singlet and a pair of shorts. And yeah, I see nothing wrong with wearing really comfortable clothes around the house, but whatever suits your fancy. That's just my routine, that I just make sure that I'm clean, literally, but I don't really bother with, I definitely don't do my hair. I just put it in a bun and I just put on my usual skincare and I go about my day. So it's just to exercise, wash up, put on skincare, and that's it, I'm ready. You just need a really simple routine like that. If putting on makeup helps you feel more ready for the day, then go ahead and do it. I just feel like it's a waste of time, personally. Time that could be spent doing other things. Okay, the other thing that I find to be quite helpful for working from home is to set boundaries. And there are two kinds of boundaries, right? One is like a time boundary, and second is like a physical boundary. So for time boundaries, I try not to reply to emails after 8 p.m. because I feel like before 8 a.m. and after 8 p.m. I feel like these are quite fair working hours, in fact longer than the usual. And unless it's something really, really urgent, I don't think there's a need to reply to emails after 8 p.m. And I've told my staff this as well, simply because, yeah, I mean, everyone needs a sort of time break. So that's the time boundary that I set for myself. I'm also a morning person, so I prefer to start the day early. So after 8 p.m, it's really kind of like my chill out time. So in this period, I haven't been able to go out, obviously, and meet friends, but I chill out in my own way. Like, I'll go for maybe a long walk, or I will just sit and read a book. Like not related to work, just something that I've been meaning to catch up on. You know, so that's a sort of time boundary. The physical boundary, I think people don't talk about as much, but it works for me. So I have like this area behind that's like my work area, but I've also increasingly been working at my dining table, which is fine because it's just bigger and more spacious. Also, you see these windows, the sun comes in the morning and it's really hot. And I try not to switch on the air conditioning. So I kind of been working from the dining table. But I mean physical boundaries. So the dining table is my workspace. This is my workspace. When I need to take a break, I sit or I lie down on the couch and I do like a meditation or something like that. And of course, the bedroom is purely for sleeping and resting. Like, I don't do any work there at all. So it's quite demarcated, the space, even in my pretty small little apartment. And so leading on to that point, the fourth point I want to make about working from home is to take productive breaks. So I actually like the Pomodoro technique. And Pomodoro, it means tomato in Italian. And so it started by this guy, Francesco Cirillo, in the 1980s. I'm guessing he's Italian. And so he used this timer that was shaped like a tomato, and that he set it for 25 minutes, and that was why he called this the Pomodoro technique, because that is Italian for tomato. So basically all it means is to work in 25-minute chunks, and I find this works great for me because I cannot sit still for too long. I wouldn't say I have ADHD, but yeah, it's hard for me to sit and focus for way too long. But if I tell myself 25-minute chunks, that's kind of a doable amount of time, I think, for most normal people, even for restless people like me. So in 25 minutes, I gotta get this done, or sit down, even if it's like a big project, like I gotta write a research paper. It's not gonna be written in 25 minutes, but I'm like, okay, this 25 minutes, I put aside my phone, I put aside all distractions, no WhatsApp on my computer, and I just research and write and work on that paper for 25 minutes. When the buzzer goes off, I take a break. And so this fourth point is not so much about the Pomodoro technique, and I can talk a bit more about that in another video if you're interested, but it's more about taking productive breaks. So I mean productive breaks, like not to sit in front of the telly. I actually don't watch television, but my idea of a break is to either have a meal or to maybe call a friend, or on Zoom, or even on the phone. So I'm actually catching up with friends. Increasingly, I've been taking my breaks on the sofa. Like, I close my eyes and do a 5-minute meditation because I find that it really helps to clear my mind and it really refreshes my body and my soul. So that's what I mean by a productive break. I guess an idea of a non-productive break would be to eat junk food, or to maybe like mindlessly scroll through social media. Like, even if I'm on social media, I try to post something that I think might be of use to others. And yeah, I save the like mindless scrolling. I try to save that for like after 8 p.m. or after my work is done. If you spend your break time just doing that, you'll find that it goes by very quickly and you're not refreshed at all, and then it's time to go back to work. So I think what you do in your break time is as important as what you do during the time that you're supposed to be working. So my fifth tip, and again this is kind of related to the fourth one, is to eat well while working from home. Now, if you know me, you'll know that I am not by any stretch of the imagination a healthy eater in the traditional senses of the word. When I say eat well, I mean eat well, something that's not too unhealthy, that also makes you happy. So I try to eat things that, you know, I don't believe in denying myself. For example, like I love cookies, like, you know, famous Amos crunchy cookies, and also the very soft, melty kind. I love chocolate and fudge stuff, but I just eat a bit of it. But when I mean eat well, I mean like order myself a nice lunch, because now I can't go out, but I order something that I really like to eat, and I eat well, a good sized portion that is not too much, rather than to like eat like a salad and then end up having a snack and getting hungry in between. I feel like eating well helps me, and I'm not so much a snacker as I am a like proper meal kind of girl. So I eat 3 or 4 proper meals a day, and that's it. I don't deny myself from snacks when I'm in the mood or before my period when I really, I'm really craving chocolate. So I do have cookies and chocolates in the house, but I eat like 1 piece at a time. Like a big cookie, I would probably eat half. For Famous Amos cookies, I'll probably eat like 3 max at a time. So it's all about proportion. But the other part of it, it's all about eating something that makes you happy. Because if you're happy, you will work better. So imagine if you're not looking forward to lunch and you eat something like, ugh. Like for me, that would be a salad. I cannot imagine being very productive after that. And my final tip for being productive while working at home, and this might come as a surprise to you, I did mention it previously in one of my tips, is to meditate. I find that this has really helped me work a lot better. Okay, so I think the easiest way to start is to do it just before you sleep, because that will give you good sleep. And if you have good sleep, you don't need as much sleep. And if you're well rested, then of course you'll be more productive the next day. So I think try with like a 1-2 minute meditation. You can just Google it on YouTube, like 2-minute meditation, follow along. But at night you can maybe do a 10-minute, and sometimes, a lot of times, I fall asleep while doing it, which is really great, and my sleep is really good. The other time you can do it is first thing in the morning. I don't do this because I'm usually rushing to my workout, but I do it during my little breaks in the day, and I find that it really helps. Like I do this technique, I think I saw it online under like Ziva meditation. I think some people also call it the 5 senses meditation. Just close my eyes and try to, at that point, walk with my eyes closed, just be aware of like what I'm feeling. Like maybe I feel like my skin against the sofa. What I'm hearing, I can hear like traffic outside. I can hear, like my husband clicking on his keyboard. I smell, so I try to fill my house with nice scents. And then if you swallow a little bit, you can kind of taste something in your mouth. And you can even see, like you can see like flashes of light or something. But the technique is basically just to draw awareness to the 5 senses. I mean, some people say just draw awareness to the breath. I find that way too boring and way too like it's just one thing to focus on. I think this one, because there are 5 senses, 5 points, I find that it's better if you're a restless soul. And I just do this for like a couple of minutes, and I find that it helps me so much more. It helps me to focus, and it's not just woo-woo stuff, because science has proven that the more you meditate, the more certain neurotransmitters and basically the more certain connections, neural connections are made in your brain, and this will help you make more connections with other things. Like if you're trying to study, you're trying to learn, it's just the way the brain works, right? In plain simple English, without getting too much into like the science of it, it's actually really good for you, and it takes, like I said, just a couple of minutes. So do it during your break time, and I can assure you, the 1 month will pass really fast, and you will be a lot more productive while working from home. Alright, so those are my 6 tips for working from home and staying productive. Not just productive, but happy while working from home. Drop me a line in the comment box below if you have tips to share as well, so we can all learn. And of course, it's important to not just be productive, but also to be happy, so you go to bed each night feeling like you've had a great day. I know it's been hard staying at home, but please stay healthy and stay happy, and I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And I'll catch you soon on Facebook and on Instagram.